Parshas Yisro. So we have the Aseres HaDibros, we have Matan Torah. Everybody knows the Luchos. On one side, 5, those are Bein Adam Lamakom, between man and God. On the other side, there's 5, Bein Adam Lachavero. The Ramban says it, right? The first one is about how to respect God. The second one is about Bein Adam Lachavero. I have a question. My Rebbe used to ask this question, and I want to try to examine it. There's a number of mitzvahs in the Torah that have to do with donkeys. If you see your friend's donkey and the load falls off of it, you pick it up. The firstborn donkey, you have to redeem it. If you don't, decapitate it. Right? You can't you can't plow with the donkey and an ox together. Right? There are laws about donkeys. Is there a thing in the Torah called Bein Adam Lichamoro, between man and his donkey? Is it between man and God? Why is it between man and his friend has its own name, but between man and his donkey doesn't? Is it all just about God? Is it all just about serving God? So we're going to start with the Ramban, but then there's another thing happening in this parasha, and I want to just try to see if we could bring it out a little bit, something valuable to think about. The last of the first 5 of the Aseres Dibros, Kabed Sevicha Vesimech, that's the last one. And the Ramban says that it doesn't tell you how to give your father respect or your mother. There's no discussion about how to do it. How are you supposed to know what the laws are of respecting him? And he says, because you have 2 fathers. You have a father in heaven, the first father, and a father down here. And ideally, the father down here, the relationship with him is supposed to match the relationship with the father in heaven. And so just like we serve Hashem and we don't ever minimize the honor that's due to him, and we're not supposed to serve him in a way just to get to our reward because appreciation of him, we're supposed to do that with our fathers as well. And he goes on, he gives a few examples of how we're supposed to learn from one to the next. And Kabed Sevicha, what side is it on? It's on the side of Bein Adam Lamakom, because it's like an extension of mitzvahs between man and God, this mitzvah between man and his parent. Okay. I'm going to shift for a minute to the beginning of the parsha. Yisro sends Moshe a message. I, your father-in-law, am coming to see you. Ani chosencha Yisro bo elecha. V'ishtecha, and your wife, u'shnei voneha ima. And not only that, your wife and her 2 children are coming as well. And Rashi explains what's going on over here. He says, if you're not going to come because of me, come because of your wife. And if that's not enough of a reason, so come because of your children. But don't not come out to greet me when I come. And the Rishon already asked the question, what's going on? Yisro needs all of this kavod, he needs all of this honor, like he's not an anav. And really we know that he's an anav. Earlier in the parsha, Yisro defines himself as the father-in-law of Moshe. And Moshe defines himself as the son-in-law of Yisro, all the way back when he asked him permission to leave to go to Mitzrayim. And Rashi says they had this great covet for each other. He wasn't an arrogant person. What's going on? He's like, come out to meet me. If not for me, for him, but it shouldn't be. And it says that Moshe went out towards his father-in-law. He gave him a great kavod gadol he gave him. What? So he wanted the kavod. So what's going on over here? Is he humble? Or does he need to have his ego stoked? And the Maral says an incredibly important idea. And he says, it's not even a kasha, this question about his humility. It's one thing to chase after kavod. A person who chases after that, person who's doing things so people should respect him, A person who's dressing this way so people should respect him, it doesn't work. A people who's acting in a way so people should respect him, it doesn't work. Whoever chases after kavod, kavod runs away from him. It doesn't work to try to get your kavod by worrying about what others are thinking of you. It doesn't work. Kavod will go away from you. But avoiding disgrace, avoiding insult, not being seen as a person who is bozui, who is disgraced, that everybody, even a big tzaddik, has to avoid that. There's even a halacha that a person who's viewed in general as a disgraced person, you're not allowed to use him for edus. He's not kosher for edus. He's not even kosher. Bad enough a guy's mechal Shabbos for hesi, he's not kosher for edus. But a person who's bozui, who's disgraced in his behavior, who will show himself in public in a disgraceful way, that person, he's not even kosher to be a witness. For a person to avoid that, that's just because every person is created with a godly essence. And that respect is always due to him. That respect, he has to be makpid on. He is supposed to require it. It's not the same thing as trying to be a big guy. Because if somebody is worthy of respect and you don't respect him, you have disrespected him. That's the next stage. And so when Yisro is asking for this kavod, and I'm your father-in-law, what will it look like if you don't greet me? It will be very, very disgraceful. It will be embarrassing. Some kids say, oh, I'm such an onav, I don't care. Of course I care. And Maral's brother, he brings his brother's pshat, and he takes it a step further. Maybe you're embarrassed because I'm a guy, so you're embarrassed that I'm your father-in-law. Okay, come for your wife. Maybe you're embarrassed because she also came from this family. Okay, so at least come for your son. But Moshe says, no, you're worthy. He goes out to meet his father-in-law, the pasuk says. I want to bring this back to the question we asked originally. What's going on that there's mitzvahs bein adam lamakom and bein adam lachavero, but there's not mitzvahs bein adam, lechamora? It's because the mitzvahs of bein adam lachavero are there, so you should build a relationship with your friend. So you should appreciate the godliness within your friend. If you're just giving tzedakah because it's a mitzvah, if you're just treating your friend right because there's a mitzvah and God says it and you don't want God to hit you or punish you, you're missing the whole point. He wants you to have a relationship with your friend. Lo tov heyos adam levado. It's not good for a man to be alone. He created us to need each other and to uplift each other. He wants that. He doesn't want you to have that relationship with your donkey. This is just the way you use your donkey in your service to God. But your friend, I want you to appreciate him. I want you to see how precious he is. I want you to see how valuable a human being he is. And as such, of course, where does it come from? Well, we just said Hashem is like our father, the first father. And any parent knows how hard it is when his children are fighting with each other. We don't want our children not to fight just because they respect us. We want our children to be good to each other and appreciate each other. And as such, there are two types of mitzvahs. There's the mitzvahs bein adam lamakom and the mitzvahs bein adam lechavera. Gentlemen, have a beautiful Shabbos. We should be able to keep our relationship strong and bring each other up.